Okay, I wanted to kind of show you everything from the inception all the way through the lead funnel, since it'll be a little bit different from what you've been doing before. And I'd like you to try to work with it a little bit because we're going to be using this with some of our other partners as well. And I thought it would be good if we could kind of work the kinks out. So this is the web form um, that I created because when Terry's driving around, he's just going to have this loaded on his phone and he's just going to be putting leads into um, just right into Podio. So I want to show you what's going to happen with that. So if I kind of open another page here. Okay, so um, this is what the web form looks like, and he sent me a list of a whole bunch of addresses yesterday, so I'm just going to use one as an example. So 613 West 33rd Street. A lot of times he's not going to give you the zip code, so you just want to go into Baltimore. You'll probably have to Google to find it, but that's okay. So these properties that I'll be putting in today are just properties that he drove by, that they're clearly vacant, and that we want to try to get in touch with the person. So I'm just going to put this in as driving for dollars because that's what it's called. And I'm not going to fill, I can just say it's not listed. And property description, vacant house, snow on steps. You're not going to know the property description, but I know it, so I'm just going to put it in there. And the seller name and phone number are what we're going to be trying to figure out. And when I hit submit, it will then create a lead in Podio. You might have just heard that beep. That was me getting the notification. So it created a new lead, which is pretty exciting. So if we go into the lead funnel, this is where all of the leads are going to go. So when we start new campaigns, when they are driving around looking for houses, if somebody says, hey, I have a house, any lead at all is going to go into the lead funnel. So this is sort of the catch-all, because right now all we have for this lead is the address and that we know it's empty. If we take a look, though, what I did, and this is what I've been tweaking over the past few days, if we scroll all the way down here, there's a lot of information on this, but this one sheet is going to carry us all the way through the closing process. And the reason it says property address twice is because if I had the address with the map listed first, I couldn't use that as a web form. So that might be a tweak that I'll need to work with, but we obviously definitely need the address in there. So once we have the address, this is similar to what you did yesterday. It actually may have alerted you because I set up a new, actually I'm in the press. Yeah, no, so it might have alerted you. So if it did, no worries, you're probably going to message me while I'm doing this. It'll assign you a task when a driving for dollars lead pops up. So that means that we're going to first go to Maryland Estate, and this is Baltimore City. So when I go to Maryland Estate, I'm going to scroll down to Baltimore City and say I'm going to search by the street address, and it's 613 33rd Street. Okay, and we have some information here. So we have that it's the principal residence. So we're going to say Ruby Van Horn. Is the seller. Actually, I think there were two. Ruby and Martin. Ruby and Martin Van Horn. So, okay, so I have that information. So what I want to do now is see if I can get their phone numbers. So I'm going to try White Pages, because it says in SDAT that it's their principal residence, but clearly nobody is living there. So it may be, they may have died. We just don't know. Let's see. It looks like there's been some transfers, but they've owned the house for a while. So when I go into White Pages, try Ruby Van Horn, Baltimore, Maryland, and see what we got. See, these we have to pay for, so we're not interested in that. I'm thinking it is the 89-year-old Ruby Van Horn. So next I'm going to try to Google. Oh, geez, 90. Okay, so she may be deceased. If that is the case, if the person has died, we can go, what is it, into the, hold on, let me think. Okay, if we find that the person may have died, we want to go into the Register of Wills and do an estate search. I will send you this link as well. You just go to the bottom and say you agree to the terms and conditions. So the last name is Van Horn, Ruby. Let's see. Okay. And that is not the same person. So that that might be a dead case there. So if that's the case, if you've gone through everything, and you may have some other tricks that you could try to pull the information. What you can do, and you could also search Martin Van Horn. I'm not going to go through all of that right now, but in the notes on calls, you just do your initials, KR, and I can just say White Pages, Google, state search. So that would be an example of how you would do that. And then we would, oops, I didn't mean to do that. And then you would just save it. And it's going to remain open in here because it hasn't moved on to the next step yet. Okay, so that's just how you would do these driving for dollar leads that I'm going to be inputting shortly. And I'll do a new video to show you how to move things through so you can get started on this.